You're listening to Board Games Before Bed. Think of this as a gentle rulebook read through. Slow, steady, and just detailed enough to follow, calm enough to fall asleep to, clear enough to play tomorrow. Settle in, close your eyes if you'd like, and we'll walk through tonight's game together. Tonight, we are leaving the heavy gravity of Earth behind. We are lifting off, drifting past the atmosphere, and entering the quiet calm of the cosmos. Tonight, we are going on vacation. Welcome to Galactic Cruise. Imagine a future where space travel has become comfortable, elegant, even luxurious. You've just been hired as a supervisor for the very first company to offer extended stay space vacations. The company's founder, a visionary named Travis E. Preston, is stepping down in 3 years, and the board of directors is looking for someone to take the helm. That someone could be you. Your goal is not to conquer the galaxy, but to host it. You want to build the finest shuttles, offer the most exciting shore excursions, and ensure that every guest has a safe, happy flight. We do this to earn victory points, which really represent the approval of the board and the joy of your passengers. If you can manage the logistics of a busy spaceport and keep the queue of travelers moving, you might just become the new CEO. Let's take a moment to feel the tools of our trade. Before we even look at the map, notice how the game is stored. The pieces don't just sit in plastic bags, they rest in custom organizers. The trays themselves are beautiful, shaped like the sleek lines of a shuttle. Every token has a home, every cube has a specific slot. There's a deep sense of peace in seeing a game that is perfectly organized before you even begin. Then there's your personal workspace, your player board. This isn't a flimsy sheet of paper. It is a heavy, dual-layered dashboard. The tracks for your resources and the countdown for your launch are all recessed into the cardboard. When you place a cube, it clicks in to its little slot. It feels secure. You could bump the table and your plans would stay perfectly in place. The artwork is crisp and technical, making you feel like a real engineer sitting at a control console. But the most satisfying pieces to hold are the ships themselves. You have tiles for the cockpits, the nose of the ship where the pilot sits. You have tiles for the engines, the heavy thrusters at the back, and in between them, you will slot in ship segments. These segments are the rooms where your guests will stay. Maybe a zero-gravity dance hall or a quiet observation deck. Fitting these cardboard tiles together, creating a long, sleek vessel on your table, feels like constructing a real machine. Then There are your workers, smooth wooden figures. They are your staff, the engineers, the pilots, and the planners who make the company run. Finally, the resource trackers, small tokens that slide along those recessed tracks, marking your supply of food, oxygen, and fuel. Everything here feels built to last, heavy, deliberate, and precise. Let's visualize the spaceport spreading out across the table. First, we place the main board in the center of the table. This is the network. Think of it as a sprawling campus of futuristic buildings connected by walkways. To the right of the campus, we place the marketing board. This is where passengers wait. You can imagine a long line of travelers, the queue, eagerly waiting for their tickets. We fill the board with cruise tiles, showing us the destinations people want to visit. Nearby, we organize the supply trays. We place the blueprint tray, filled with designs for new ship segments. We place the cockpit and engine trays, ready for assembly, and we make sure money and ads are within reach. Now, bring your attention to your own desk, the player board. Take your starting cockpit and engine tiles. They are marked with a star, and place them to the left of your board. This is your first ship waiting in the hangar. On your board, find the break room. Take 2 workers from your supply and place them here. They are resting, drinking coffee, waiting for your command. Take 2 expert workers, special staff with unique skills, and place them in their designated office spaces on the board. They aren't hired yet, but they are ready. On the left side of your board stands the launch tower. This is a vertical track. You will place 4 brown upgrade tokens in the top slots and 4 gray upgrade tokens in the bottom slots. These represent the systems you will activate as you prepare for liftoff. Finally, set your trackers to 1. You start with 1 food, 1 oxygen, and 1 fuel. The board is set. The lights are on. The company is open for business. The flow of time in Galactic Cruise is steady and rhythmic. The game is played over a series of turns, continuing until we have completed our 3-year contract. On your turn, you will always follow a simple 3-step routine. Step 1, advance ships. If you have any ships already in space carrying guests to the stars, they move automatically. You simply slide your ship 1 space forward on its itinerary. Step 2, the main action. This is the heart of your day. You have to make a choice. You can assign a worker to the network to do a job. You can launch a ship if one is ready on the pad, or if your staff is tired, you can call a meeting to bring them home. Step 3. Accomplish a goal. Finally, you check to see if you have met any of the company's milestones. Perhaps you've built enough ships or hired enough experts. If you have, mark your progress. Advance, act, goal. It is a loop that repeats like the orbit of a planet. Let's take a closer look at the first step, advancing ships. When a ship is in space, it follows a set path on a cruise tile. Every turn, your pilot moves the ship one stop forward. Sometimes, the ship lands at a destination. When this happens, you might drop off an upgrade token to improve the destination for future visitors. And of course, you score the guests. If you have a family on board and you land at a family destination, they are delighted. You pay a small advertising cost and you gain victory points for their happiness. Other times, the ship spends a day in space. This is a quiet day of travel between worlds, but it is not wasted. During a day in space, your guests enjoy the amenities of the ship. If you have an adventurous guest and your ship has an adventurous facility like zero-G climbing wall, they will give you money. If you have a relaxing guest and a relaxing facility like a spa, they will give you resources. And family guests, they love the facilities so much, they generate ads for your company. Finally, the ship returns to Earth. The pilot comes home to your break room, happy and rested, and grants you a funding bonus. The ship is empty, cleaned, and made ready for the next voyage. Now, let's talk about assigning a worker. You take a worker from your break room and place it on one of the 6 locations in the network. But you must be polite. If another player is already there, you don't block them, you bump them. Their worker goes back to their break room and they gain a funding bonus, a coin, an ad, a resource, or a victory point. It's up to them. Once placed, your worker can perform actions. But here's the clever part. Developments. Developments are small tiles that act like bridges connecting the buildings. If you place a worker at a location and you have a development connecting to the building next door, your worker can perform the actions at both locations. If you don't have a bridge, you could use your neighbor's bridge, but you must pay them based on your reputation. If your reputation is high, 15 or more, you could use their bridges for free. If your reputation is middling, 7 to 14, you pay 1 coin. And if you are unknown, 0 to 6 reputation, you must pay 2 coins to borrow their connection. So, what actions can you take? let's walk through the campus together. Build a development. You can pay resources to build those connecting bridges. This makes your future turns more efficient, and it increases your storage capacity for resources. Hire an expert worker. You can pay money to hire one of those specialists sitting on your player board. The cost depends on how well you are doing. One expert costs 2 money for every development remaining on your board. The other costs 3 money for every upgrade token remaining in your launch tower. Once hired, they join your workforce, and in every game they have a special ability that breaks the rules in your favor. Purchase supplies. You visit the market. You pay 1 money to gain 2 resources: food, oxygen, or fuel. Or you can pay 1 money to gain 2 ads. Simple, but essential. Build ship segments. This is where the construction happens. You take the blueprint tiles you have collected, and you pay their costs to flip them over and install them onto your ships. You are building the cabins where your guests will sleep. Each ship can hold up to 3 segments. Acquire blueprints. Before you can build, you need a plan. You visit this location to take up to 2 blueprint tiles from the display. This costs nothing. You are just picking up the paperwork. Acquire new ship. If your hangar is not full, you can commission a new vessel. You take a cockpit and engine from the supply, creating a brand new ship on your player board. You gain an immediate bonus from the engine, and now you have a new project to work on. Gain resources. You visit the storage silo. You can take up to 3 resources: food, oxygen, or fuel. Based what is in the silo, you adjust your trackers up and the silo trackers down. Refilling storage silo. If the silo is empty, you could be the one to restock it. You discard an agenda card from your hand and fill 1 resource track all the way to the top. The company rewards you for this service. You gain money for every step you raise the tracker, and you gain reputation. Schedule a cruise. Schedule a cruise. You select a cruise tile, a destination itinerary, and place your cruise consultant next to it. This lets you reserve a specific voyage. When you do this, you also get to flip an upgrade token in your tower, getting a small, immediate bonus. Advertise for a cruise. Finally, you can visit the marketing department. You pay ads to move the guest from the queue onto a cruise. You're pre-selling tickets. Placing guests gives you money and reputation and ensures your ship will fly full. Draw agenda cards. And if you need extra help, you can draw agenda cards. These represent favors and schemes from the board of directors. You could place them later to break the rules or gain free resources. It's a busy campus, but with good planning, you can make it hum like a well-tuned engine. Eventually, the paperwork is done. The ship is built. The guests are boarded. It's time to launch. This is the best part of the game. Instead of placing a worker in the network, you place a worker at the bottom of your launch elevator. You then move them up the track, ticking off a countdown. T minus 5. Assign and board. You choose which ship is leaving. You place the cruise tile above the ship. Then you load the passengers. Guests who already bought tickets board for free. But if you have empty cabins, can hold a last-minute sale. You can pay ads to pull guests directly from the queue. However, if you pre-sold a ticket but don't have room for that guest, that's bad business. You lose to reputation for leaving them behind. T minus 4. Place progress cube. You mark the timeline. You take a cube from your supply and place it on the progress track. Another launch, another milestone for the company. T minus 3. Pay resources. Now we fuel the engines. You check your supplies. You need food, 1 for every guest, plus 1 for the pilot. You need oxygen, 1 for every segment of the ship. And you need fuel. Based on the distance shown on the cruise tile, you slide your resource trackers down. It's a satisfying cost to pay. T minus 2. Score cockpit. Use score points based on the specific design of your cockpit. T minus 1. Load up. You grab the upgrade token that you flipped when you scheduled this cruise, and you physically load it onto the ship's engine. This token will now travel with the ship. Liftoff. Your worker moves from the elevator into the pilot's seat of the ship. The ship leaves your player board and is now in space. You draw a new cruise tile to replace the one you took, adding new guests to the queue. The game is measured by the progress track. Every time a ship launches or a company goal is met, a cube is added to this track. It fills up slowly, like sand in an hourglass. The game is divided into 3 years. When the cubes fill a section of the track, we pause for an annual general meeting. We stop to see how we are doing. We score points based on our progress cubes, multiplied by the number of wings. And if we have the highest reputation, the board notices and grants us a bonus. When the final section of the track is full, the game ends. We finish the round, bring our workers home one last time, and let our ships take one final drift forward to score a last destination. Then we tally the final score. We gain points for the complexity of our cockpits. We gain points for every development we built. We gain points for the ship segments drifting in space. And we score our reputation one last time. The supervisor with the most points becomes the new CEO, ready to lead Galactic Cruise into a bright future. Galactic Cruise is a game of big dreams and quiet logistics. There is no combat here, no lasers, no explosions. There is only the hum of the engine, the chatter of happy guests, and the satisfaction of a schedule running on time. It is a game for those who find peace in a well-oiled machine, for those who look up at the night sky and see a destination. The shuttle is departing soon. The cabin is warm. The stars are waiting.